Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, back with another black and white Pokemon upgrade. Today we're going to be discussing how Tauros' new Dreamworld ability benefits it greatly and will allow it to do a lot of damage in battle. So let's get started. So first off, if you guys aren't aware of this already, Tauros used to be one of the most threatening Pokemon around, especially when it was only first gen, meaning just, red, blue, yellow. But since the generations progressed and more Pokemon have come out, becoming even more powerful and faster than Tauros was, its usefulness kind of dwindled, and it was pretty much replaced by a variety of other things that you see in like the current overused metagame or whatever you want to call it. But taking a look at its stats, you can see that it has very high attack and very high speed, which means that it is very capable, I just said very multiple times, anyways, is very capable of dealing out a lot of damage and outspeeding a lot of other threats that you may encounter. Now, the great thing about Tauros this gen, though, is because of its new Dreamworld ability known as Sheer Force, which is a move that increases the power of moves that have secondary effects that are opponent related, meaning anything that will cause like a status or a drop in stats or a flinching and things like that. All those moves now are more powerful with this ability. However, the chance for the drop or status or flinch or whatever will never occur, which is, the side effect of this ability. However, greater power is always better, in my opinion, than a percentage chance of something that might happen. But for those of you that keep questioning this for some reason and just won't accept the fact that this is the case, it does not cancel out recoil from moves like Double Edge or Flare Blitz or any kind of things like that. It does, however, cancel out Life Orb recoil when used in combination with a move that has a secondary effect. So I will talk more about that in a second, but just to round off this whole discussion about Tauros as a Pokemon, you can see that it actually has some pretty decent defenses to begin with, which is great and will definitely help its survivability. But with that, let's take a look at the set that I'm showing you guys for Tauros to use this generation that may have some variations on it depending on what you want for him, but this is my personal favorite way of using him. So first off, we're going to be giving Tauros a hasty nature for the set, meaning that it has increased speed but lowered physical defense. As for the ability, obviously we're going to be using Sheer Force because that is the whole purpose of this video to begin with. And as for the EVs, we're going to put 252 into attack to give you your highest physical attack that you can possibly get with this hasty nature, 4 into special attack to give you 1 more point into that for the heck of it, and then 252 EVs into speed to allow you to have your max speed possible with this hasty nature. And as for the item, as I kind of alluded to before, we're going to be using a Life Orb with the set due to the fact that when you're using a Life Orb in combination with Sheer Force and you're attacking with moves that have a secondary effect, you actually don't take any Life Orb recoil while still getting the boost that Life Orb provides. And this is kind of like a glitchish type thing in the game, or maybe they left it in intentionally, I'm not sure. But right now we're going to exploit it as much as possible. But as for the moves, the first one that we're going to be using is known as Rock Climb, which is a powerful physical normal type move that has a chance to confuse. Sadly, though, it only has 85 accuracy, but Tauros does come with this ability in the Dreamworld, move. It can learn this move in the Dreamworld, which is really great, and I think they purposely gave him this just for the sake of using it with Sheer Force. But basically, with the combination of Sheer Force and Life Orb, Rock Climb will be your most powerful normal type attack that you can use, and again, for people that seem to argue these kinds of things, it is not more powerful. I mean, it is more powerful than Return. So even though its accuracy is kind of shaky, it'll definitely be doing a lot more damage than Return ever could. As for the next move, we're going to be using Zen Headbutt, which is another move that, again, has a chance to flinch, so it'll get a boost from Sheer Force, and it's of the Psychic type variety, so that's really great to use on like fighting types, which are very common to deal with in this gen. And since fighting types are, the only type of attack that can hit a normal type Pokemon like Tauros for super effective damage, Zen Headbutt could actually be a pretty awesome counter for these fighting types that come out, like, I don't know, Infernape or something like that, because of the fact that, Fernape's Infernape is part fighting, and you also outspeed it, which is really great. So it's like an awesome Infernape counter to an extent, but don't take that, you know, entirely seriously. You get what I mean. But then next we have either using Earthquake or Rock Slide. Now, Earthquake will not get a boost from sheer force, so this is the only move on the set that won't. However, it's still really good for type coverage for things that Rock Climb, your main stab move, won't be able to hit, such as, rock types and steel types, because they resist normal type moves. So EQ is a really good check to that as well. However, you will take Life Orb recoil if you use it, but it's still really powerful. Now it does learn the move Bulldoze, which is a ground type move that that automatically lowers speed by one stage. But even with the sheer force boost and Life Orb, you're still doing less damage than Earthquake if you have Life Orb. So it's really like you take the recoil and you do a lot more damage, or you don't take it and you do less damage. So I guess it's up to you. But the other option, I guess, in this position, as I said before, is Rock Slide, because it has a chance to flinch, so that means it'll get the sheer force boost and Life Orb boost without any recoil, and it's also good for other type coverage. Now, for this last move, you might be wondering, like, what the heck? But it's actually really, really useful on this set, because there are a lot of Pokemon that you face in battles that are really weak to fire. Like, Ferrothorn is increasingly common to see every now and then. Fortress is another really common poke, and so is Scizor. So this move is really great for checking these kinds of Pokemon that are normally defensive or resist your main stab move. So you'll be doing like 4 times effectiveness to these Pokemon, which is really great. And obviously, other things that Fire Blast is good against. And the great thing about it is that even though your special attack is not that great, it still gets a sheer force boost and a life orb boost without any recoil, and it still will do a lot of damage. So despite special attack not really being your thing, it will still do a lot of damage, which is the best part of this. And if you don't know, Tauros learns a heck of a lot of normal type or special attacking moves, so anything could really be in place of this, like Ice Beam or Thunderbolt, but Fire Blast, in my opinion, was the best option. But that is pretty much it for this set, guys, so hope you enjoyed the video. Only one last thing to say, and that's the fact that not all of the moves in this set, with the exception of Earthquake, do have a chance to miss, so it is somewhat risky, I guess, of a set, because you don't have 100% accuracy on anything except for Earthquake. So just keep that in mind as you're using the set, because you may miss, and that would be unfortunate, obviously. But that is pretty much it for this video, guys, so take care and goodbye.